Today I'm going to talk to you about pain. I'm in a lot of pain. I know a lot of you are living with different degrees of pain every single day, and it affects everything. It affects the way you want to eat, it affects the way you sleep, it affects the activities that you would normally do that you can't do because you're in so much pain. For those of you who are new to the channel, who have never watched me before, I am 71. I have multiple sclerosis, diagnosed in 95. I have breast cancer, which was diagnosed the end of 2006 and came back last year and metastasized into my bone. I have type 2 diabetes, and right now I have a lot of pain. And you may think, oh, probably to do with the cancer? I don't think so. So I'll kind of explain to you, and I'll also explain to you how it takes a team to put me together again. Kind of like Humpty Dumpty, I think. Anyway, for those of you who haven't been here before, welcome. For those of you who join me every couple of weeks, welcome back. My name's Denise. This is Travels in My Chair. And I think I should tell you that originally, when I started this channel a couple of years ago, it was mainly to talk about traveling and how to travel in a meaningful way even though you are handicapped and there's not a lot of accessible ways in which you can travel safely. Alan and I over the years have found ways to do that, but then of course COVID came and everything got shut down, and I had to sort of switch gears, and I thought, what the heck am I going to talk about? And it has nothing to do with traveling. But then one of my friends said, but you are traveling. Every time you move around in your wheelchair, you're doing something, you're traveling somewhere. Leave the channel name. Now you might notice that the hair, which I lost so much of when I first started on my chemotherapy drugs, slowly coming back. It's really thin, but it is growing, so I think that's a plus. I think I'll just sort of dive right in, okay, and just tell you what's been going on in this past month and a half. In October, Alan got a virus that knocked him for a loop, and he was really ill. And for the first time in a long time, I realized how important he was. Not that I know how important he is in my life. We've been married 51 years. But all of a sudden, I realized everything that he does for me, because I don't do a lot. And I'd like to say I'm a trophy wife that's kind of got tarnished, but even that wouldn't even be true. He was ill, and we lived on soup, and I lost yet more weight, and I started getting thinner and thinner, and my legs were thinner and thinner, and I was really getting worried. And as you know, but from a previous video, that I had been on a drug called Ozempic for my diabetes for a year, in which I lost over 20 pounds. But I also couldn't eat. Well, what's happened since then is I'm having trouble eating. If things aren't perfect in my life, I can't eat. I can't eat things that are really spicy, meat, things like that. Still can't eat it. So that's become a problem because I need to get the protein in. So after Alan recovered from his virus, I got it. Started off with a sore throat. No, that's a lie. Started off losing my voice. Totally. Woke up one morning, went, the things that happened with that virus is that I had a sore throat, a runny nose, almost like a cold, but it made me really weak. And because I was really weak, I wasn't so good on my feet. One day I'm on my recliner, just at the tail end of the virus. I went to stand up, and Roxy was on my recliner with me. She's been hanging really close since I've been sick, and she was fast asleep. So I thought, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll just get up and I'll go to the bathroom. And at that moment she decided, Mom's awake, she must want to play ball. She went to jump off the chair, and I twisted, and of course down I went. Falling for me is different because I don't have the muscle strength. So in a way it's good because I can't stop myself and hurt myself, but in a way it's bad because then I just tumble into a mangle of legs and ankles. And luckily Alan was at home, and he came to put a belt around my waist. We tilted the recliner so it was almost up to standing, and I put my arms around his neck. Now you got to be really careful with this if you are dealing with, say, Alan, who's almost 6 feet and I'm 5'1.5", because if you put your arms around his neck and he stands up fully, he's pulling on your back, and it can really be painful. By him putting the belt and using the belt to lift me, my arms were around his neck, may need just this extra support, and it worked really well and got me back in the chair. Usually after I fall, which thankfully isn't that often, I have a day or two where I really just want to sleep. I'm trying to figure out what I've hurt on my body. Sorry, right now I'm really hurting. It took a couple of days, and I've been having problems, as you guys know. And I've talked to you about my tailbone problem. I don't think I went into much detail about my oncologist after I'd gone for my 5th COVID shot, my flu shot, and my CT scan with the contrasting dye. And I got a call from the oncologist because I was concerned because I was having so much pain to the right of my tailbone and pain in to the left and the upper thigh area. But the good news is that everything was okay. There had been no change, cancer hadn't spread, and she feels, that pain in the left is a sclerosis, just like my previous oncologist did, and that sclerosis shouldn't in itself be painful. But this pain to the right of my tailbone onto my buttock was really getting intense. I take hydromorphone at night. I take 2 of them. All of a sudden I was like, I need to take a hydromorphone. Even though during the day I know it'll make me sleep, I just need to get rid of this pain. I can't really stand it much longer. And luckily it was just a fluke. My doctor phoned, said, oh, by the way, I've just been feeling on my butt, and I've got a sore there. And Alan looked at it and thinks it's like a blister. He said, I'll make way for you, come in. Can't have that. Okay. You guys know, the doctors are all super busy. The hospitals are overfilled with all the things that are going around this time of year. But one of the things you don't know is in our medical clinic, we don't have adjustable beds, not one. I've had some embarrassing moments when I've had to have an exam, and my poor doctor once had to straddle the bed. He's very tall, like probably 6'5", straddle a bed to lift me up onto the bed because the bed was so high I couldn't get up on it. So this time I said, what are we going to do? I can't get up on that bed. And he said, can you stand? And I said, yeah. So he was on one side of me and Alan was on the other side of me. I stood up from my wheelchair, leaned all over the bed. Alan pulled down my pants. The doctor had his rubber gloves on. He was like, check. Okay, done. I'm going to get a wound specialist to come and check it out. We can't afford to have that get infected. And if you get a fever, you must go to the hospital immediately. Less than 2 hours later, I get a phone call from a lovely young man, RN that works at Coastal Health. And here's the first interesting thing. I've been concerned about this hydromorphone. I hate taking pills, and all of a sudden I've gone from taking nothing to taking a whack load of them every day. I'm really worried about this hydromorphone. He said, do you get pleasure from taking the pill? No. God, no, I don't want to take it. I take it because I'm in pain. Well, then don't worry about it. But, you might want to talk to your doctor and just tell him, what you're trying to achieve by taking the hydromorphone. So the hydromorphone is supposed to take away the pain, but also relax. Because it relaxes, then I can sit in my recliner, get into a comfortable position. About 10 minutes to 20 minutes after I take the pill, it kicks in and it relaxes my leg and my butt, so the pain goes away, and then I can either have a nap or do something on the computer or read or something, as long as I don't move. Because every time I move, exactly where this tear in my skin is, it stretches and pulls and opens the tear more because the skin is so thin there. So I've had the wound guy come, and he's been here twice, treats it, and then yesterday morning the occupational therapist came. Now here's another interesting point. He's thinking I should get new cushions for my wheelchair. I think they're made by Rollo or something. They're specially made to adhere to, for pressure points and stuff if you're in a wheelchair all the time. And he wants me to get one for my recliner because I spend part of my life in my wheelchair, part of my life in my recliner. They're expensive. But the other thing he also noticed in our bathroom is he says, you're sliding across the shower stool. And he said, and that's hard plastic. I don't want you to do that, because what it's doing is it's pulling on the skin on your butt and it's opening it up. We need to find a better and he says, I think I have a solution, but I'm going to have to contact your insurance people and see if they're going to be willing to kick in on some of the costs of this stuff, because it's expensive. The other thing he suggested was, in order to get a little bit of core strength back and a little bit of circulation in the leg, that I should put a walker in front of me, tilt my recliner up a bit, put the walker right in front of me, making sure brakes are on and so forth, stand up, even if it's only for a minute or 2 minutes, and the recliner's behind me, and if my legs give out, I can fall back onto the recliner. He said, and also when I go to the bathroom, when I stand up after I get off the toilet, just try to stand for a minute. Do that a few times a day. If that's the only exercise you get, that's still better than nothing. And it's taking the pressure off that wound, because we don't want that wound to spread. We don't want it to get infected. So now I've dealt with my doctor, the wound guy, the occupational therapist, and then yesterday afternoon I had to go for my pomegranate infusion, which is a bone infusion that I get once a month. And I was really, guys, I was in such pain yesterday. I couldn't even stand it. I mean, think about it, that tenderness on that skin. Every time I lean forward or lean back or go to one side or the other, it pulls. And depending on how far I'm leaning is how intense the pain is. I was in bad pain. Chemo room, which is the room where I get my infusion, and the nurse came over and she said, how are things? I said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm really in bad pain today. I can't take the pressure off, and I'm shoving jackets underneath my butt. I'm trying to do everything to try and get the pressure off, and nothing's happening. She said, I'll grab you a couple of Tylenol. And she came back and she said, okay, tell me about this. When did you fall? What happened? And what's going on? I said that I'd fallen a couple of weeks, I guess, by now, and it wasn't getting any better. The wound specialist said it wasn't weeping. It wasn't. If it was really weeping, that would be another indication of something that was going on bad. She said, yeah, but has anyone talked to your oncologist? And I said, no, why? And she said, well, you're on an oral chemo pill, Ibrance, and that pill, I mean, you can't have dental work done and everything while you're on that pill is affecting your autoimmune system, and I think I should make a call to your doctor. She said, I'm going to ask him to call the oncologist, because this may not heal easily and properly on its own, and if it's causing you this much pain and you're unable to eat, you're unable to lead a semi-normal life, we got to get a handle on it. And the wound is too old now to have stitches. I went, stitches? Wow, can you imagine? She asked him to call the oncologist, so I haven't heard from either of them yet, but I'm sure I will. So now my team consists of my doctor, the wound specialist, the occupational therapist, 2 of the RNs at the chemo room, and also the internist that actually is responsible for my bone infusion. I haven't actually seen her, but she's the one that okays it and everything else. So she's now involved. I'm thinking, holy moly, I got a team of people here. I've got a medical team working for me. My wound guy has put in a request so that I can have in-home physiotherapy. Pain that is worse than anything I've ever known. Yesterday, I think I went to sit down to eat dinner and I started crying because the pain was so intense, and I was hungry but I didn't want to eat, and I couldn't get comfortable. Whether I'm laying, whether I'm sitting, it doesn't matter what position I'm in or what I've got shoved under my butt to try and take it. It just seems like that skin is a thin layer of skin it's stretched and it's tearing, almost like tissue paper. So I have to be so careful that I move carefully, that I don't fall again, God help me, and that my team stays on top of it, because I got to get a handle on this. We can't afford to let the skin stretch more. We can't afford for me to have to deal with this, because I'm not sure what the alternative is. I don't think it'd be nice though. I am done. I'm glad that it's sunny out today and that it's fairly warm out, so I could sit outside and talk to you guys, but it bloody well hurt. Hey, mastectomy did not hurt as much as this. It's a really weird kind of pain, and so here's what I'm going to say. If you have any that is out of the ordinary in pain right now, especially this winter with all the weird viruses and stuff going around, get hold of your healthcare professional. You need to be on top of it, especially if you have cancer. Like, I would have not ever thought that being on my oral chemotherapy drug would affect the pain or the cuts or any abrasions that I might get. I didn't even give it a thought. Well, now I know better. And when you know better, you do better, right? The last thing I want to talk about is my last video. The light was all wonky and I looked like I had jaundice. I was very yellow and I was too sick to adjust it. But since that video came out, I've lost 5 subscribers, which are really important to me, because my goal is one day to get 1,000 subscribers. And let me know what I could personally do to improve my channel in a positive way, okay? Because I gotta be honest with you guys right now, I'm pretty fragile. I have lived with pain for now a month and a half, and I can't really stand much more of it. So give me some ideas to improve my channel. Now you understand, I'm in a wheelchair. I don't get around much and I don't get out much because I can't afford to get sick. And I want to have my friends around me. I'm missing everybody, and I'm going to figure out how to do that. Right now I'm in the middle of painting watercolor Christmas cards to try and keep myself occupied. I need you guys too, because if I don't have you in my YouTube life, it's not really worth doing a YouTube channel. You know, I can talk to myself any old time of the day, really. But if you think you get anything out of it, or you think that you can give me some suggestions that subjects I could talk about, but I have to tell you, I'm probably not going to do Get Ready With Me makeup, unless that's what you want. I mean, if that's what you want, that's fine. I'll talk to you about cancer. I'll talk to you about just living with a disability, which is in itself a challenge, and a challenge for my family. And I'm lucky that I have such an amazing family. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you cancel, you know, let me know why. Like, I mean, I'm probably boring, eh? Go do all the things I used to be able to do, but I can't. So there you go. Share if you wish, like if you wish. You know how much I care about each and every one of you, and I love your comments. You're a very caring community. And right now, send me the love, because honest to God, if I don't get rid of this pain in my butt pretty soon, I think I'm going to just start screaming. So I better sign off now, because it's hurting. See you real soon. Bye for now.